right. I think. Can you guys hear me?
We can.
I'll tell you what. I think all three of us kind of got booted out, but I'll tell you, we Mason has been very close to Rose for a long time. They've grown really close together. We Mason dropped Rose for like 10 minutes for us to try Kelsey, and then we went back to Rose immediately. And ever since we've done that, Kelsey has been spiteful against us everywhere.
Yeah, there's definitely some grudges being held there with our bots. My God.
Exactly. She never forgets. I didn't know that. Mason thought the grass was greener on the other side, and look where we're at now.
Yeah.
Apologies massively for that, Chris.
It had nothing to do with you being a Cowboy fan, I promise. If you could turn up a little bit, Chris, you are a little bit low.
All right, let me see if I can get that worked out here.
Don't move though, because Rose might boot you.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Can you guys hear me a little bit better?
Yeah, that sounds a little bit better.
That's good for me.
All right.
Yeah, it's just from the computer. It won't even show me on your chat that I can join. So I had to join from my phone.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than being told you're not human. We apologize for that. All right. Well, we'll get started here. We'll edit out that first little bit. Obviously, my name is Dirty Mike, and I am with Wanker Token, and we have Chris and some of the team here from Vault for a dual AMA, and we're going to talk about each other's projects, ask a couple questions, and answer some questions from the community. So we kind of got a little bit of chance to speak up front, Chris. So I will give you the floor to start with. Why don't you tell some of the people, especially in my group here, about Vault Finance and just give us the basics of it.
Sure. Well, Vault Finance is an exciting new project that we have. We're pretty much what a lot of people are finding very interesting is that we're having sell-less contract, and what that means is in tokenomics, obviously, as you all have seen, you watch the chart, and there's those cells that come from on the chart that come from the cells that have to happen to distribute rewards. Well, we found a way through the contract to be able to get around that, and so it is sell-less. And because of that, it also helps on the project side as well too, because a lot of times the project's wallets will fill with tokens as well too, and they have to sell to do business as usual on behalf of the project, and those create cells on the chart. So we're able to not wreck the chart by doing that. We also, that's just our first day one offering, but we have quite a few exciting revenue producing utilities that are going to be coming out soon too. Between that and a couple secret utilities that will be big cash cows as well. We have quite a few different little things that are just great incentives for people to hold with our token. And so that's kind of a little bit about us.
Yeah, we talked about this you and me before that there's nothing worse as a holder than to be watching the chart and getting a whole day or so's worth of momentum moving up positive, and then you have that big contract sell that big leaves a big red candle on the chart, and we like to think that everybody knows what's going on with contract sells, but unfortunately not everybody does. And to somebody who may not be familiar with what a contract sell is, they may perceive that as some big money leaving the project, and that can really create a snowball effect, can it, Chris, to like really start a sell off?
It can, because selling is infectious. Unfortunately, a lot of chart movement and how we decide as investors when we're going to buy, when we're going to sell. There's a lot that influences us, and when you trade, you shouldn't be using your emotions, but a lot of times our emotions can get the best of us. And so when you see contract specific sells like that, it looks like a whale is exiting. It looks like somebody's removing their position, and that makes usually more people start to remove their position, and so you start seeing this sells outweighing the buys in an overall sense, and it's one of those things that becomes very inefficient for projects, that every step they try to make move forward and give rewards and also move the project forward, it's almost like they keep stabbing themselves all over with every step they take.
Yeah, I agree, and I think what you guys came up with is absolutely brilliant. Now, to my knowledge, I don't know any other projects that have this feature. Are you proprietary with this? Is this your own custom contract, or is anyone else doing this?
Did we just lose him again?
Oh my god!
Surely Rose can't have kicked him twice. That's surely impossible.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's such an interesting concept of what they came up with. To have that. Have you ever seen that on any other project, Steve? That sell list feature?
I have to say I haven't, and I'm intrigued. Obviously, if it's proprietary, Chris won't give away how it works.
Right.
But I have to say it is. I've seen various different tokens try and lower the threshold. And it's just constant bloodbath as the rewards are going out, or they're kind of more like the olden days where you have parabolic moves and then the opposite to a parabolic move towards the center of the earth with a red candle, and then it ticks back up. But exactly to your point, everyone's like, why are these? I can even remember just, not to talk about projects specifically, but talking about even Evergrow. I can remember watching that, just go up and up and up and then down and then up and up and up and then down. The sells were so dramatic. It was like in the early stages of a project, I can see why it does kill projects,
Yeah, especially early on, when you're, so much more likely to have volatility.
And I wouldn't be too surprised that some of these projects, as they grow, that kind of lands on their radar of, hey, I need to switch out some of these tokens for back to BNB. So they're watching the chart for times to do probably controlled sells as well too, because that BNB is really the currency that's going to be used with influencers, marketing groups, different things that the project's trying to do to grow.
Now,
I think it's genius.
Can
you give it? It's probably proprietary, so you can't tell us logistically how it works. But it's really genius, to be honest. So kudos for that.
Yeah, that's what I was asking you, Chris. Are you guys the only token, to your knowledge, executing this right now? So, because I assume this is proprietary, the custom contract that you did.
There is one other. Well, I guess to start with, to kind of preface into that, you usually the issue that a lot of these tokens have, or people that are trying to do this have, is that on the front side of it, where the investor is actually putting in, investing their BNB into something, you can't control it on that side. So normally you're left on the DEX or the exchange side. They're the ones making the transaction, and they usually don't want to split the BNB. They want you to split your token. So that's just kind of the way they're put together. And so you end up getting a piece of the token. So with that being said, kind of that being the problem or the process that you're having to work through, some people have come up with creative ideas to try to be able to do that, and it just doesn't work out. There is one group that's trying to handle it from the exchange side. So, but other than that, the route we're trying to go is a proprietary method, and I continue to be in talks with crypto specific patent attorneys, and also looking into that being used in a international fashion as well too. That's kind of our first tier of protection. The second tier of protection we're looking for is a proxy protect, and then the third is to be first to market the way we're doing it, of course. So those three different things are kind of the protection pathway that we're building. In our earlier AMA we had today, the host was saying that he didn't believe it could be patented, but patent attorneys are creative guys, and so they find ways to make it work, and that's exactly what they're working on right now.
That's exciting.
Awesome.
So you will be. This won't be, something that'll just be open source that people can just copy this contract and start a whole new fad. You're definitely protecting this as well as you can.
Yes, our intention is to take this proprietary way we're doing it, and for future coins that come out, or for ones that are migrating in their contracts to a new version, to license it. And in licensing, what we're that's one way for us to be able to get that product out and to be able to help other new projects or migrating projects become sellless. But we also have a way for ones that have just migrated and they're not in a position to migrate again. We have a way to be able to, I guess we could say, backwards compatible in the technology, so that they can go through a sellless route too. So it kind of is able to help the existing the existing project tokenomics, but also ones that are coming out, because you got to remember too that tokenomics aren't just the big guys that we're used to in this area. There's also the meme coins that are giving those too. So there's quite a few that this is an issue for.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's switch gears here. Wanker token, Steve. Um, what was your motivation to kind of buck the trend of what's going on with these high tax, high reflection tokens, and drop a low tax token on here? What was your thinking behind that?
I think the reality is that it's based on many of us investing in projects that can't sustain volume and have high tax, high rewards ultimately. And there's so many of those projects. My wallet's absolutely full of them. The tokens that I bought at all-time highs, and now I'm down 50%, and I now need to make 40% of my initial investment back to get out of the project. So we're talking 60, 70, 80%. And there's so many of those out there. I think we've all been kind of at the mercy of tokens with potentially high rewards but struggle with volume. So I think I always say that I anticipate that the legitimate projects that have real utility, that will drive volume in the future, will be the remaining BUSD tokens in 3, 6, 9 months in the future. So what we planned to not go that route because we wanted to try a different experiment, let's say. And we see how many of these different meme tokens you were mentioning, Chris, and other tokens that potentially don't have any tax, that trade incredible volumes on a daily basis. So we went with a low tax, which is 5% in, 5% out, 3% back in BUSD, 1% to LP, 1% to marketing, with the premise of making it a token that can be tradable. And I would say, if I look at the comparison to, let's say, a 15% BUSD reward token that has zero volume because we're in a down market, making a token tradable that people can get in and out and sneak a 10% here or a 15% there, 10, 15% here and there is far more than we're all getting from our bank accounts, etc. Right? So it is a token to be traded, and we're looking to prove the experiment that says we can have 5 times higher volume than a lot of these tokens that are struggling. People will get the same reward, but because people can trade the token. So ultimately, low tax with high enough that people get something back, but it's really developed to be traded. And we're hoping that people are excited for that as much as we are.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's definitely a change of pace because we're all stuck with reflection tokens in our wallets right now. That, like you said, we have to wait for them to go up sometimes 80, 90% at this point where we're at right now before we can even just break even with them. And really, what ends up happening more often than not, at least with me, You guys can correct me if this doesn't happen to you, but you just get so tired of it that you end up just biting the bullet and not only losing how much you're down, but then paying the tax, to get out of it. And, you just want to free up the B&B, honestly, because, you may have a project that, you like that's coming out and you just don't want to have money, tied up in this project anymore and wait any longer.
100%. And I think also on top of that, with kind of how the BSC space has been, and that's why we appreciate guys like you, Chris, coming and join us, and trying to look at how we can kind of collaborate and kind of lift each other up in the space when people are transparent and doing the right thing. I mean, we can look at these reflection tokens that we're all sitting in our wallets that we're down on until kind of Bitcoin goes back up, but the majority of the times, or a decent percentage of those times, I'm sure I'm not alone, that you don't even get to the point of holding a token in your wallet for reflection. Somebody's rugged you straight out the gate, and that's one of the reasons we've built this team, is to do the right thing, because we're just tired of bad actors in the space. So I think that's something as well that kind of goes to the sentiment of us as a team and why we've come together through a long period of friendship on investing in projects, being in the same groups, and trying to do what's right, ultimately, because there are just so many bad actors in the place who are copy pasting stuff and just stealing liquidity, and it's a crime, literally.
Well, yeah, you're right. Well, let me ask you. I'll ask you, Chris. You kind of brought up that. You kind of brought that up, Steve. The bad actors and how much bad stuff does go on in the space. What do you think can be done, Chris, or what do you think should be done to kind of help clean it up?
Well, I think you're going to have some people with some very strong feelings about that, because I think in one portion, you're going to have people that are going to believe in more control, and that the government handle more, create more quote unquote protections or things like that. At least with the United States government, they love to have their hands in everything. But on the flip side, really, we have to raise the standard, and that's not just from the project level. I mean, on us, we pride ourselves on our 5 pillars, and that's what we come forward with in transparency of who we are and the character and how we run this project and how we handle everything, and I think you have so many rug pulls. People's knee-jerk reaction is they're scared. They're not sure what's true, what's not. And so really it comes down to the investors. There's the ones with the money that moves the money around. And so there just needs to be a raise in the standard. Everyone needs to go, it's not good enough unless it's at blank level. And that needs to be the new expectation. And I for one, that's part of the reason why we started this project, is we saw a lack of that. And frankly, I believe tokenomics is going to go a long ways. I think that this is going to be something that, as the space and crypto starts to mature and starts to be seen as being a safer place and not the Wild West, you're going to see that high end money come in from Wall Street. And I think tokenomics is in a perfect place for that, because that passive income, that rewards, is a very good thing, and volume can be made from it. But there's certain things we have to do to be ready for that. When that time comes, we need to be ready. We need to be professional. We need to be transparent. We need to run ourselves like a business, and because that is what those guys are looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
100%.
yeah. They that's what they prey on, and also just as investors as well too. Educate yourself, learn how to read the blockchain. I'm still learning myself, and I'm not the best at it. And I have some friends who are very, very good at it, and they preach to me all the time. As an investor, that's probably one of the most single important things that you can do is learn how to read the blockchain. Know exactly what you're dealing with, know what to look out for. And, if we can just, educate ourselves in this space, that'll go a long way too, because there's just, there's just so much crap that goes on with it. But, with what we're doing right here with you guys and, what we're all going to do with some other projects, to, share this space together and, help each other out. Hopefully what it'll do is it'll start to add legitimacy to the space and, kind of start to weed out the crap projects that, are out there because there's definitely no shortage of them. Chris, why don't you tell us about the Diamond Hands heist? So I think a lot of people might have some interest in that.
Yeah, the Diamond Hands heist is just the perfect title for it. What we've done is we've allocated 10% of our total token supply. That's 100 trillion tokens because our supply is 1 quadrillion, and so 100 trillion tokens that are going to be set aside, and they're going to go towards a airdrop. It's pretty much a program that we have where at 60 days after launch, anyone who's Diamond Hand holding who has not had a sell or anything, you can be adding to your bag if you'd like, but any sort of sell or anything like that will get a distribution based on what they based on their holding amount. And pretty much it's an amazing incentive to hold. The people that'll qualify for it is everyone from when we started the private seeding all the way up into 30 days after launch will be able to take advantage of this. And it's just one of our many ways that we're giving incentive for people to hold. But there's not just one. We're having a diamond heist where we've got a diamond for each hand heist. So there is a second heist. There's a second heist. When you only thought you could heist the vault once, you get to heist the vault twice. And the thing is that those that 100 trillion tokens is going to be accumulating quite a bit of rewards. And so what we plan on doing is having a second heist at 120 days for everyone up into 60 days that is holding, but you have to hold all the way to 120 days past when we launch, and we will do a distribution again, but it'll be all the rewards that have come from those 100 trillion tokens, which will be quite substantial as well too.
Yeah, I can imagine. There's a lot of buzz around you guys, and your community is doing such a fantastic job of growing. And you guys are doing a great job, and definitely proud of you guys for sure.
Yes, definitely. I'm very proud to be a part of our community. I might be the CEO, but I'm proud to be a part of these guys. We're growing a bunch every day. We've only been around for about 10 days. And I think we're probably today we'll hit 900 in the Telegram room.
It's amazing.
And they're great. Everybody gets along. It's organic growth. They're investors, and they see the value in what we're going to do. And that's something that I really am thankful for. And I know Ross and Mason are too. Is that people see the value of what we bring. They see the how genuine we are and the transparency and just the way we're trying to conduct this, and they love it. And so, I tell them in the chat all the time that when you put your time and efforts into our project, we definitely turn around and put our time and efforts right back into you.
That's awesome. I'm starting to think we'd maybe have some members in the Wanchor token, some more members if our bouncer at the door started letting some people in. So this definitely shines some light on to we're going to have a talk with our bouncer. Now,
yeah, Steve, she's tough.
She is tough. She really is. Steve, I want to ask you, for some of the people who are new here from Vault community, why don't you explain the utilities and what's going to be happening after launch and up until launch? Well, let's start with after launch. Let's talk about some of the utilities that you guys have planned.
Awesome. So if you have the time to take a look at the website or the white paper, you can see that our primary utility is, let's say, a next generation matching platform that is pre-vetted, including kind of ratings, feedback, etc., for being able to match projects with content creators, with blockchain developers, with web designers, and all of these different people who contribute to the space. And then the plan is to launch beyond the space once we have everything up and running. Really, because one of the learnings, and I'm sure maybe you as well, Chris, can attest to this, is when you go to launch a project, if you're not launching, with a group of friends, kind of like we have, and I'm sure maybe like you have, you don't necessarily have all of the expertise at your fingertips who you can trust. Right. And I see that, so much of what we've seen in the space is that there's a huge amount of, price gouging going on for service provision, whether that be for influencers, shill groups, whether it be for, content creation or whatever it may be. And a lot of projects, who are trying to do the right thing don't necessarily have an infinite budget. Right. And we want to make sure that we can, look to match those budgets with quality, reliable service through this platform, because also we see a lot of people get scammed by trying to do the right thing, trying to contact good influencers or whatever it may be, and then they're just more bad actors in the space who steal all of the funds that they had allocated for marketing because they just sent it to the wrong telegram or whatever it may be. So we're looking at how can we continue to do more in the space to bring confidence, transparency, trust, and integrity in everything's doing on. And also, we've got a lot of people in the communities and groups that I'm in who you've got a lot of, very talented people who, maybe aren't active in the crypto space. They're there as an investor. But I can kind of just give a shout out to kind of one of our graphic designers, a guy called Michelle, who's, one of the best designers I've ever worked with, and I do this as a profession. And, he was volunteered by one of our kind of our friends in one of our groups. And the guy, I would recommend him to any project, and he's extremely reasonably priced compared to others, and things like that wouldn't have happened had we not have kind of started this and looked to do something like that. What we're also going to be doing is anything we raise through that matching, whether it be in kind of, service listings or whatever it may be, that is currently on the roadmap for Q4, but I can kind of let the secret out that is already well in the way of its development, and it will be released way before Q4. And we'll be looking at how we can bring all of the funds generated from that platform back into either number one, adding to liquidity, to stabilize the price floor, or to burn tokens and raise the price of the token. In addition to that, there's lots of other things, that we have. That's the primary utility, and where we're all, trying to do good in the space and to help people spend their money more wisely for quality, reliable service. We also have staking, which is obviously not necessarily utility, but it's something that's coming there for the community to earn more from diamond handing the project. And a couple of things that are kind of more hot off the press, as you can probably see from, our avatars, that we have the naval theme of our anchor from the Wanchor token. And we're looking to run our own NFT lines, and that's in progress as we speak. But on top of that, we also are in mid-development of the NFT marketplace. These are things that weren't on the roadmap. They're things that we've decided to do in the last week or so. But development is moving very, very fast. And the other thing that people like that, for me, I check BSC scan because I love going down rabbit holes, is that we have the rewards tracker, and that's going to be coming soon as well. So primary utility is, let's say, Fiverr for crypto to start with, but to expand beyond, then it's going to be NFT marketplace, NFTs, and more to come, but I can't disclose that yet.
Definitely. Thank you for sharing that information. Now, we're a little bit further along for launch, as we're in launch week right now. So, Steve, why don't you give everybody the details about what launch week is going to look like for us and what launch day is going to look like?
Awesome. And I was joking earlier on because Mike's been tripping me up with the difference between UTC, CET, and EST all day. So I'm just trying to find the times that we're going to. So basically, this week, and as I mentioned, we have around 360 members in the group. This has been grown organically through friendships, through collaboration, and people who we know are good actors in the space. And even though that's not a huge number, we're proud that is 360 real people who are interested in the project. This week is really about getting the word out there, and bringing more like-minded people to the project who like the concept, of what we're trying to do, of having more of a tradable token, and potentially the utility that's to come to help even bring further volume into the project, but more kind of, I guess, logistically how this is going to run up. So this week we're going to intensify the engagement, bring more people into the space. Launch day is going to be on Saturday the 30th. I want to say it is 8 p.m. UTC. We're going to start the video chat 30 minutes earlier to kind of answer questions, etc., and then look to release on the hour. And let's see how this exciting project can go. So if anyone likes what they hear, believes in what we say around being trustworthy people and looking to do good in this space, we're excited to have you.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing it. Chris, what are your launch plans at this point? Why don't you tell everybody, what your launch schedule is looking like, how you're going to handle your launch. I assume you're probably going to go through a launch pad.
Yes. We're looking to launch tentatively around the beginning of Q3, which would be around beginning of July. We haven't put it down to an exact day yet. We tend to kind of follow the motto to kind of under promise, but to over. And here it is. I messed up the motto, but pretty much we're gonna perform and not give out promises we can't reach to. So.
Yeah, that's important to do, definitely, because there's nothing worse than being involved with a project that's
Okay.
Apologies for that, Chris.
I'm like, oh no, here you go.
This is a comedy of errors. This is, isn't it? Apologies for this.
Jesus. Telegram just rugged Chris.
100%.
Roses.
And just while you're getting yourself back up and running, Mike, I just pinned the time. You had confused me significantly. So the launch party starts at 18:30 on Saturday UTC, with the launch being around 1900 UCC. So correction on it not being 8 p.m. UTC, 7 p.m.
Great. Okay.
Apologies. Back over to you, Chris and Mike. Apologies for that.
Yeah, Chris, he probably thinks we're just fucking with him here. My God, Rose is kicking him out, and now Telegram's rugging him. I mean, my God.
It's like we're gonna knock him off the momentum. That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
No, but what I was saying, I guess we've got maybe 26 people in there. What I was saying was that we were looking to launch beginning of Q3. We haven't exactly narrowed it down. We usually will overperform and kind of under promise. So, but it will be in that arena. We have wanted to launch and go with Reflex, but as you can probably imagine, with the complexity of this contract, it is not compatible with PancakeSwap. So 100%, it will not go through PancakeSwap as far as being listed over there. Now, as far as launching and stuff, we are hoping to go through Reflex, but we're doing our due diligence on our end to ensure before we try to secure that partnership that it will work over there and that it'll go over seamless, because obviously we know that we have a great set of utilities day one, a setup, and we're looking to hurl towards launch and then jet off to the moon after that. So we don't want any hangups, anything trying to buckle us to the ground, and so we're doing our checks and making sure that everything will go correctly and the way that we're anticipating.
Awesome, sounds good. At the rate that you guys are growing too, if you don't launch for another, 2, 3 months, I mean, God, you're going to have a massive community by then if you can keep this momentum going on for sure.
Yeah, for sure. It's growing by a ton every day, and so I'm pretty sure that we will have a bunch. I know that there's some other projects that will, they end up getting an influencer and they bring in bots or accounts that just aren't
Yeah.
really active. I want 100% of the people in our room to be people that have a who
Oh my God. Did it kick us out again? Every time poor Chris is talking, it kicks him out.
coming back in. But
Oh,
yeah, that's a double rug and a double banning. This is a record to beat moving forward.
yeah. This.
Mike, can you hear us? I think you're on mute.
Yeah, I can hear you. God. Did it? Did
I'm
it
sure
ban?
this. I'm sure this is one of the mods just playing around with the end VC button, right? Just fucking with us. I'm kidding, of course.
I mean, my God. It didn't kick Chris out again, did it?
No, I'm here this time.
All right, my God. I apologize that we're not messing with you here. I swear to you, I don't know what's. I'm going to start moving away from Telegram. You're pretty active on Discord, right, Chris?
But we have a few in there. I'm mostly active in Telegram. That's the main one that I'm watching. But I try to watch all of them while I can. But I'm only one man, and that's kind of the reason why we that's one of our utilities is moving across all these different socials is difficult.
Yeah, I think once we kind of launch, I think we're going to really, look to, move this community over to Discord. It seems like they have a lot less issues with this and a lot more features to offer as well.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that's true.
definitely
That's
that's
true. It seems like every day that goes by, and I have to interact with Discord. At first, I didn't really like it at all. It's weird, and there's a hashtag on everything, and
Right.
as I started to be able to use it more, I can see actually it's kind of it is a better setup.
yeah, and there's a lot more. I would say not to disrespect anyone in Telegram because I'm kind of a Telegram nerd myself. Is that there is a big following in Discord, right? Of a lot of credible investors. So I think for sure I think the more times we get rugged on Telegram, the more quickly we drive our Discord community. We have something set up, but we're not massively active over there yet. But I think it's something that we need to do as soon as possible because I think actually when you look at bigger, longer term projects, they really have huge Discord communities and really don't do a lot in Telegram, in honesty. And the focus is really on Discord. And I think that's likely the best way to go.
Yeah, I think that's a move that we're definitely going to have to make, because anytime I'm involved with a project on Discord or a call like this, and I never have issues like this.
No.
So, well, we got a lot of good information out there today, and definitely we've had some technical issues. But let's open it up to some questions if you guys are good to answer some questions.
Yeah, sounds great.
All right, that sounds good.
100%.
You guys should just be able to unmute. I don't think anybody has to raise hands or anything. So usually the first question kind of gets it started, and then everybody else starts to kind of chime in. So who wants to ask the first question? Anybody got any questions? I don't want to call on people.
I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
You mentioned proprietary. I'm sorry. I'm talking about Chris. He mentioned proprietary software. Is that what I heard?
It's pretty much the way that we have put together our contract. It was or it's going to be. It has a flair of creativity to it that helps get us around the issue with the cells to make us cellless. And so one of the things I wanted it to do was to make it proprietary. So in talking to a couple of these, both here in Dallas and in Florida, patent attorneys, there's a couple, they kind of fork patents into a few different categories. And we fit within those categories, so within one of those categories. So what they're doing is they're doing research because as you probably can realize is that the patents are not cheap, and then when you have to take those internationally, that's not cheap either. So obviously we're doing that because we see a huge amount of value in doing that, because of what we're bringing to market. So we're in discussions with them. I've got them doing research and making sure these both of them are in the crypto and in the high end unique patent realm. They're not ones that are just doing people who are making brand new styles of lawnmowers or anything like that. These are ones that are in the niche area and in the crypto space. So we're I'm going to get some feedback from them here soon, and they believe that we should be able to go that route. And if they give us the green light, we will go that route.
The reason I'm asking this is because you did mention that you're a rewards token, and the taxation is where you're going to be getting the revenues for it, and you wanted to just do it not in your native token, but you want to do it in a stable coin or any other coin that is not related to your native coin. But I also heard, I think I heard in a different AMA, something about pancake swap. But in my understanding is that even through the taxation that they have set up through their routers, that you could get um, the uh, the revenues back through their internal router taxation in any other token, not necessarily your native token. So are you aware of that?
Well, it's something that we've researched and that we're working with the developers on. It's our understanding, and quite a few of other ones in the tokenomics community, that pancake swap is it's difficult for what we're specifically trying to do with this contract, because it's pretty much, you have to make it to where pancake swap on their end, or whatever exchange you're dealing with on their end, wants to do it your way. And most of them don't. They want to do it their way. So unless you force them or you come to some kind of understanding, you have to find a creative way to do that. And some are creative based on how they're built, and some of them are not. And so you start getting into the nitty gritty and splitting hairs at that point. But either way, in the back of your mind, you're being very careful that you don't want to test that and be wrong. So we have to have those conversations with the different groups that are involved, the people that are involved. We have to have a firm understanding of what we're doing on our end, and what the I guess the fringes of the contract, and how that can work. So that's what we're doing as far as that goes. And that's the reason why we're having to do our due diligence to make sure that who we do business with at launch and going forward, that will work out to our advantage and work correctly.
Thanks, Katori, for the question. Um, Anyone else have a question? I know we've all been making the rounds today. With Vault's been doing it, we've been doing it. This is our second AMA of the day, and we have one more after this, actually with DGEM. So we're going to be doing a lot of questions, a lot of talking today. But we love them, guys. We love getting the questions in here. So anybody want to unmute and ask a question to either one of the tokens? You know what? I'll ask a question to Steve. Steve, why don't you tell us about the tokenomics real quick of Wanchor?
So the tokenomics is, as I mentioned before, it's a low tax token, 5% in, 5% out. Of that, there is 3% that goes to BUSD, 1% marketing, 1% to liquidity. When we're talking about overall token allocation for the whole project, we have a 1 quadrillion supply, 60% of which is burnt. We have an allocation for private sale, which has already been done, pre-sale, which is kind of 80-90% complete. Our tokens related to the board tokens are already in a secure locker and aren't vested. They're locked for a 6-month period. We also have 65 trillion for staking or buyback and burn. They are also pink locked for the first 1 month because we're looking to prepone that staking that we're looking to do. And we're looking to seed 115 trillion, which is around 30% of the circulating supply to PancakeSwap, with 80% of the BNB we raised from private and pre-sale on Saturday evening at 1900 UTC. I've got it right this time.
I refuse to acknowledge UTC. No, that's exciting for sure. It's definitely going to be an interesting launch, and hopefully it's a quiet launch. They're the ones that you want. You want those nice, quiet, uneventful launches, and all the people have already been airdropped their tokens, so we don't have to worry about going through pink swap and some of those procedures, right, Steve?
100%, and I think that's one of the key things and why we're looking to do something different. Not only are we looking to do something from the taxation and rewards perspective to make it more a tradable token, there's a lot more that we're doing around the actual launch, not going with a launch pad, etc., and doing the stealth launch on steroids to remove a lot of these inhibitions that teams have. I mean, how many? I think it was the AMA we were on just before, where launch days in today's world is like the biggest rug of time, right? Of anyone. It could be that people are trying to move, to finalize the pools on pink sale, but one of the pre-salers who got airdropped has sent some tokens to his buddy and they're not able to finalize, or and it's just an absolute disaster. And I have to say, I'm not a massive fan of launch pads for various different reasons that I think I've talked about many times before. That we're looking to try something different and do it through organic growth and to get it out there fairly to everyone. And just one last thing on the anti-bot kind of measures that we have in place for launch. So at private and pre-sale, there is a maximum of 1 trillion tokens per wallet. At launch, there will be a maximum of a 500 billion transaction. There will be a 30-minute delay between those transactions. You can buy multiple times, but not sequentially, one straight after the other. And really, what we're looking to do is have a fair playing field. And we really went through the numbers. I know you guys put me through the ringer on the math many times to get this as fair as possible. But pre-sale price is basically exactly the same price as launch price. And for such a low market cap that we're launching, if BNB doesn't dive too much more, we're going to be launching just under a $40,000 market cap, which is tiny, as we all know. Getting those tokens to match up so that it's fair for private pre-sale investors and launch buyers is something we're kind of proud of. And one of the reasons we're trying to do this in the space is to give everyone, a fair playing field. There's no megalodons. People aren't here to damage the project, and that's really what we're looking to do differently.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Steve. Anybody else? Any other questions before we give everybody a chance to kind of just wrap it up?
I do. I have another question.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I pretty much look at projects on a daily basis. I look at tokenomics all day, pretty much. So I keep hearing this underlying that sales are not good, and in my personal opinion, if your tokenomics are done correctly and you have the correct math, the buys and the sales benefit your project because it actually fills your wallets. So why do I keep hearing this underlying tone that don't sell, don't sell, don't sell? For a project and project owners, is beneficial for them to have buying and selling pressure.
Agreed.
So I'm trying to understand why is it that I keep hearing the same underlying tone.
Yeah.
Never sell, don't sell, and that's what I'm trying to understand.
It's a very good question. No, and I guess I can give you my opinion, Couture. I can tell you that I have a lot of worthless dust in my wallet for things that I haven't sold and should have sold. And I think that's one of the reasons why we've set the tax up as a low tax token specifically for Wanchor, is for it to be a trading token. There is, rewards for holding it longer term through the staking pools and other things. But rather than it be one of the tokens with extremely high tax to get in and get out, we've removed that inhibition in principle, right? That, with a 5% in and out, with the volatility of charts, you can grab a 10%, even a 5% or a 20% here and there. You're not holding on to something that has to go up at least 30, 40% because of high tax to get the money back. So we're very much about, we want people to be responsible. So, our private and pre-sale holders, we want them to take profits for sure, but be responsible. But ultimately, this token has been developed to be traded. So that's the premise from our side on that.
Yeah, and I would say for us at Vault, I would right off the bat say that our token is our project is not based on rewards. I don't want us to be said, or for us to fall in the idea that that is our sole purpose, is to give rewards. Like I said, we operate this as a business. The rewards are just that, they're rewards. And those are benefits of doing business. And so that business comes in the form of buys and sells. And there's always going to be sells, and there needs to be sell pressure. There needs to be buy pressure. So all of those things you're saying is absolutely correct. But I think where some projects, where our focus is compared to some of the other projects, is some of the other projects are like, okay, well, we set up a reward setup, so we're good. That's what we do. We give rewards. And that's not how we function. We are looking to function as a business. We're looking to draw revenue, create products, create need, and then fill those needs and create revenue from that. That is where the value is going to come from. And then the rewards are just that. They're rewards from the volume. And we anticipate, we hope and we anticipate that as we start to move forward past launch and we roll out these secret utilities that are cash cows, we anticipate taking that revenue and putting it back into possibly quarterly distributions back to the holders, doing something that almost, again, very similar to how you see with stocks. So the volume is important. Volume will come naturally based on what your project's doing and what kind of utilities you have. In our opinion, the rewards are just that. They're rewards. They're going to be bonus things that people are gonna benefit from, as well as the different types of things that we have, like the diamond hands hold and unlock the vault. Those again are just rewards for holding. But the real meat and potatoes of our business and of our offering is going to be creating profit and creating revenue with our utilities.
Thank you. Thank you for that question, Katori. I know we're running a little bit late here because of some technical difficulties, so I don't want to keep anybody later than we have to here. But I do want to get to any questions remaining that we do have. I know we got a couple new people who just came in. Anybody want to unmute and ask any final questions? Cypher, I see you.
I have a question for Steve. What is it going to be to start off? I know it'll get higher, but what's it going to be to start off to get the 500 billion?
So the start, it will be. I mean, it will be exactly the same price as the pre-sale. So it will be at the second it launches. The first transaction will be for 0.25 BNB for 500 billion. But in honesty, the likelihood of that being a human being who gets that first, that first block is probably not realistic. But I would imagine, because it is a small amount of BNB, I'd imagine that if you're there early, you should be able to get prices that aren't too different from that, unless the volume is absolutely crazy and out of control beyond what we can imagine. But literally, the second we press go, I can tell you it is at exactly the same price as the pre-salers paid.
All right, thanks.
Where is it launching?
Sorry, say that again, Kator?
Yeah, where's the token launching?
PancakeSwap on Saturday the 30th at 1900 UTC.
Perfect.
All right. Anybody else?
I have a comment. I saw in your chat somebody asked what happens if swaps or exchanges can't implement Vault's tokenomics. So pretty much, what if Vault ends up a river without a paddle, so to say, because they can't get engaged with these swaps or exchanges? That is a extremely good foresight question. We have an answer to that. We have an answer in the form of secrets, and we also have I know we talk a lot about this sellless contract, but we also have an extra little piece that's like a converter that helps make the current tokenomics coins sellless. It kind of is a way to connect. So we can actually use that and do business with exchanges that way. And that's how we plan on getting our tokenomics and the sellless to work when we move forward and do business with, let's say, a Safe Moon Swap or a Bitmart or something along those lines.
I think you're on mute, Mike, if you're talking. I can see you flashing, but I can't hear you.
Oh no, I wasn't saying anything. I was just listening
okay.
for somebody to answer.
Anyone else got a question?
Anyone else? I'm sorry, my screen had not responding for a second there, so I only kind of heard half of that last question. I wasn't sure who that was actually guided towards.
I have to say, I didn't hear a question unless that was Vetigard speaking.
You're talking about the one that I just answered?
Yeah, I think there was like
I think the question's already been answered, I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was Jay. That was Jay. Jay wrote in your chat that he's at work, so he can't exactly get on there and start speaking. But he was referring to what if our contract can't work with any of the current exchanges and stuff. And essentially, my answer was that we have the ability to make it work.
That's great. All right, cool. Thank you. Sorry about that. It's kind of just froze up on my end. Well, at this point, unless anybody has any more questions, I'll give you guys each a couple seconds to say whatever you want to say about your project, and then we can wrap it up. Any final question? We'll take one more. Any final questions? Going once, going twice. All right, Chris, we'll give you the floor and hopefully not rug you again. So you can say whatever you want, and we'll wrap it up.
Okay. Well, first I want to thank you guys for doing this joint AMA, having us on here, and inviting us into your house. I want to tell all the potential investors and all the ones that we have in our room that we appreciate you all, and we appreciate you guys being active in our community. That is very important to me, Ross and Mason, to see that, and we're very grateful for that every day, to see the interest and the value we're trying to bring to the community and to all the investors in the crypto space. So thank you for all of that. And we also want to say that, anyone who is not in our Telegram group, to please stop by, take a look. We've got white paper there. See what we're doing, see what, and do your due diligence. And, we hope to see you guys around.
That's awesome. We're glad to have you, and it's no secret we're fans of your project for sure, and we will continue to be, and continue to want to work together to help promote our joint projects like this. When is your website going to be completed?
Well, that's a good question. We're working on it right now, under construction. We have a internal guy putting together some of the basics for us. I guess what's up there right now is the white paper, very basic, but it's going to be something a little bit more drawn out, and that will last us until our development team reaches for the part of creating that public-private side of the website, and in which case we'll have a very tasteful, high-end, techie public website, and a very well drawn out, full of bells and whistles private side.
Awesome. Yeah, I do like that concept of having the two different sides for it. I don't think you really spoke too much on that. If you want to tell just everybody real quick what those two sides are going to be.
Sure. We have a public side of the website that's going to be similar to like what you see with the other tokenomics coins. It's going to have basic information, basic breakdown, very easy to digest information as far as what's in our white paper, links to the socials, all of that type thing. But we had envisioned, and what's going to be created is a private side to the website. There's going to, I guess you can say, public side of the website is going to be the DApp, where you can come in with connect your wallet and see your rewards and how many are owed to you and the total and how many coins have been burned and all of that type stuff that we've come to see. But what we really wanted to create that was unique is a private side where you have to be holding our wallet, holding our coin in that wallet, and you get to come into the private side, be one of our VIP Vault elites. And there's going to be tiers in there. We're going to have an announcement board. We're going to have some third-party marketplace things going on in there. But there's going to be, what I'll say right now is that there's going to be benefits and privileges to being able to not only go into the private side, but be able to work your way up those tiers.
Awesome. That's really cool. It definitely sounds like it will take a little time to get that right on the website. So I can't wait to see what it looks like, once it is. Steve, the floor is yours to say whatever you want, and we'll wrap it up.
No, I guess firstly, apologies for Rose and for the connectivity for the Telegram. It's embarrassing to say the least, but I have to say it's really been a pleasure to have you here, find out a little bit more about your project. I have to say, Chris, I didn't know anything about the project until now. I'll swing by and take a look and actively support. But really, the one thing we're looking to do is to, bring like-minded people together, and for people who have been here listening, we appreciate you more than you know. And if you like the sound of what you're hearing, both from a transparency and, a project specifics perspective, tell your friends. This is something we're looking to kind of grow with like-minded people. So I think the more people we can bring in who have kind of similar aspirations for, token projects and everything else, the more we can build a great community together. So kind of final words from me is, appreciation for everyone being here, and for the kind of, let's say, networking and collaboration in the space. And yeah, excited for what we have coming.
Awesome. Thank you guys both for participating with this and getting through these technical difficulties. And definitely excited to have both of you on with Wanchor Token and Vault. Obviously, we're definitely big fans of you guys, Chris, and what you're doing, and we'll definitely help support you any way that we can. So we're gonna wrap this up. Thank everybody who was here listening. We got a nice turnout here tonight for this. And if you guys want to stick around, actually, we're going to be doing an AMA and as soon as we end this with DGEM. So definitely stick around. We'll have some more stuff coming out with that as well. We'll wrap it up, and thank you guys again for the questions and giving us your time. I know your time's valuable, and the fact that you can spend it with us, it definitely means a lot to both communities.
All right, we appreciate you having us.
Absolutely, we'll definitely
Thanks,
do.
Chris.
We'll definitely do it again soon. Have a great one, guys.
All right, you too. Thank you.
All right, bye bye.